Hi, welcome everyone back. So this is the ad segment, and essentially what we want to do today is a really casual fireside chat in terms of how to really maximize a very exciting period coming up called Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So many of you already know maybe that Prime Big Deal Day just passed, but we're actually accelerating into the year-end season, which is Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and beyond that, it's also holiday shopping season, so Christmas, the gifting season. So this is a great time for you guys to really accelerate your sales, actually exciting. And together with me today, I have two very seasoned and experienced sellers as well as service providers, which are Leslie and Daniel. So really want to get them to share some top seller insights today. So Leslie and Daniel, I think very excited to introduce you guys. Can you tell us a little bit more about your selling story previously on Amazon, and why did you begin advertising on Amazon as well? Yeah.
Okay, so I think I will start here first. Thanks for inviting us here. All right. So it's exciting for us to be on stage today. So your first question is why do we, as in our selling background, right? So
Yeah.
I started in 2016 selling in Amazon. And at that point of time, there wasn't, I guess Amazon is not in Singapore yet at that point of time. And it was pretty lonely journey. There's not such an event like this, like the scale of it today, and there's so many Amazon events going on like every single month or even weeks, right? So there wasn't such a opportunity like back then. So it was a lot tougher, a lot more lonely, I would say. So and I was glad, I had Daniel joining me back then in selling as well. So what we did is that we reached out to a lot of global sellers, international sellers, mastermind with them, and kind of share their best practice with us. And that's how we got started. So it was really getting in touch with international sellers and finding out their best practice and stuff. So that's me. So I'm not sure how's Daniel back then,
Right, Hui Chi, thanks for having us today. Really appreciate the opportunity. So Daniel over here, I'm the head of seller engagement over at Scale Insights. So I want to recap our story. So obviously right now you will know that our partners with Leslie. So we began in 2016, 2017, and then we launched a couple of brands. So maybe just to talk a little bit about what I do right now. So as head of seller engagement, I get to talk to a lot of Amazon sellers, brand owners, agencies, aggregators. So I do get a sense of what's working when it comes to advertising. So I hope to be able to share that with you in the segment later on. So for sure, when it comes to I think your question was why we want to do advertising on Amazon. I think Amazon advertising is the most targeted form of advertising that you can get, right? People are searching on Amazon, they want to buy a product, right? It's the fastest way that you can get sales, the most effective way to get sales, right? I think that's a given. I think every kind of knows that, yeah. So that's a little bit about my background and what I want to share in a couple of, during the segment.
Yeah, and I think what's exciting about all the tips that they share today is that, it all came from these two amazing top sellers previously. So they came from a place of background and experience and going through the tough times.
Can I just add a little bit about why do we start advertising? And I guess it's a very straightforward decision here. As opposed to when you advertise on TVs, those brick and mortar means of doing things, right? Amazon advertising just offer you that very transparent return on the ad spend that you are getting. So as a business owner, it allows us to measure the effectiveness of us, doing the ad spend and what are the returns that we are getting back. So all these things are measured very transparently. So it makes a lot of sense for us to use Amazon advertising services. Yeah.
Yeah. And also kind of growing into the BFCM, kind of a wave. If you were a top seller, what are some of the goals, even last time when you were selling, what were some of the goals that you were kind of setting for yourself as a business? Yeah.
In terms of goals for the BFCM itself, all right. Okay, so I think everybody knows that BFCM is probably one of the biggest buying season throughout the year, right? Black Friday followed by Cyber Monday. So maybe I'll share from the context of my engagement with the sellers, right? Okay, so primarily, what sellers want to be able to do is that they do want to make profits for sure, right? That's obvious. Okay, but they do also want to be able to, test out new keywords. That's a good start to test out new keywords, drive velocity, right? Improve your BSR. It's kind of like Amazon's gift to you in a sense, right? Is them driving traffic for you. You don't have to pay a single cent, right? It's driving people to the marketplace, okay, for you to get sales, right? So that's BFCM, yeah.
Yeah, so Black Friday, Cyber Monday is a very special event for us because we are in the toy category and children's products category. So like during the December period or like the Black Friday, which is like in November, right?
Yeah.
That's something for us to get a head start. It's something for us to like prep for our December period. So it's definitely very important for us, especially for us in the toy category. And my goal back then as a seller, right, is also to create a sustainable a business with value as well. So making use of BFCM, right, is definitely for a good time for us, to get up the ranking and also to appear right there when people start to buy their gifts and all those things. We are up there in the ranking already to prepare for that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very important for sellers going into BFCM to set certain goals like for yourself, like even if it's just purely driving sales. But what we also learn is that, eventually as you go towards December, it's not like, oh, I shut off advertising straight away. You actually should be downloading reports. You should be really like looking into what are some of the keywords that are, supercharging your growth for you. And but I think like something related also to, advertising, and one of the biggest concerns that I always hear from Singapore sellers is ACoS, which is advertising costs. They're very concerned about very high ACoS when it comes to advertising on Amazon. So are there any tips that you guys can share when it comes to, managing ACoS? I think because that's the most #1 popular question we have in Singapore. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll share first. Yeah, because it's something that is very close to my heart. Now, especially right now, we are kind of running skill insights, right? Advertising tools for sellers. So we do get a lot for sellers as well. Like how do they control their ad spend, right? How do they, preserve their margin for selling their products and stuff? But at the same time, I would also urge not to just look at ACoS, right? But to look at this matrix that's called TACoS, right? Total.
What's TACoS?
TACoS is the
Yeah.
chips. No, not exactly. But TACoS is more of like total advertising cost of spending.
Yeah.
Right? So that's very important. Why is that very important here? Because for ACoS, right, we are just seeing the advertising revenue coming from the advertising the ad spend. Whereas for TACoS, right, we are seeing the total revenue, the overall revenue, including the organic sales that is impacted by the advertising spend here.
Yeah, so it essentially also means that you're looking at, your advertising costs over total sales. So that also includes ASINs that are not advertised. Yeah.
Yeah. So for sure, I think you should be concerned about your ACoS. Okay, but I have this concept that there's this thing called like good ACoS and bad ACoS, right? Okay, so what I mean by good ACoS and bad ACoS is that if there are keywords that are highly relevant for your product, then definitely you want to drive traffic to there. You do need to spend the advertising dollars, but those are good ACoS because that would then directly translate into better rankings for your product, right? Then for bad ACoS, right, in the sense that if they are not relevant keywords, let me see if I can think of an example, right? If let's say, I think the classic example, let's say you are selling spatulas, like it's a home and kitchen product, and then like a keyword like spatula toys. So that's a non-relevant keyword. So that ACoS is a bad ACoS, right? So you want to trim those bad ACoS and focus your spend on the keywords on the ACoS that's relevant for your product, right? Ideally to drive organic rankings, right? So good ACoS, bad ACoS.
Yeah, and I think I also want to ask actually, like Daniel and Leslie, so with regards to the good ACOS, the bad ACOS, and how advertising actually has kind of what we call a brand halo effect on your organic sales. So we often notice that when you start advertising, it actually has a little bit of effect on your non-advertised ASIN. So you might have 500 products listed on your Amazon store, but you won't be advertising all 500. Like you might be advertising only 10, 100, for example. But we tend to see an uplift, which we call brand halo, on the non-advertised products. So are you guys able to kind of elaborate more on what affects some of what we call organic ranking and how it affects some of the sales and organic sales of your products? Yeah.
Okay, this is a very interesting topic. So this is debatable. Why is it interesting? Because it's debatable. Many different sellers have different views about this, because Amazon doesn't actually release what is the factor that is affecting organic ranking here, right? But through our work at Scale Insights and through my selling experience here, right? So we did experiment, we did split testing. We found out that it's a very important factor here for us to take note. That is the relevancy of the keyword to the product itself, right? And you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because an Amazon user come onto Amazon, and when they search for a water bottle, for example, right, they are expecting to look at water bottle. If other things come out of it, right, they search water bottle, like let's say maybe a mic come out of it, then it's not making sense. And it decreases the user satisfaction here for Amazon users. So coming back to this, right, so in this, the keyword relevancy to the product is important, right? It's definitely one of the most important factor that is affecting organic ranking, definitely. And what is the matrix to measure that? It will be conversion rate. So conversion rate is like the number of people coming to your website, to your listing page, and how many people actually bought something from your listing. Okay, so let's say for example, out of 100 people comes to your listing here, and maybe like you had like 20 people buy something from your website. So that's something, this kind of matrix here measures the conversion rate, and it also says a lot about like the relevancy of the keyword itself. So I would say that is something that is very important towards organic ranking. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add on what Leslie said, I think like we see that's a really loaded question because nobody really knows what are the factors when it comes to ranking. So, but what we can say from our experience, right? This is our personal experience is that generally there are a couple of factors, right? Leslie mentioned conversion rate. Another factor is your sales velocity. Another factor is your click-through rate. Okay, for your listing. So let's try to tie that back into advertising. Right? Because advertising allows you to directly impact all these factors, right? It allows you to drive traffic, right? To affect your sales velocity, right? Getting better placements in your ads allows you to improve your click-through rate. And then, of course, conversion, that highly depends on pricing, your listing, right? Okay, the uniqueness of your product, right? So conversion rate kind of depends on the listing, but generally speaking, right, ads allows you to impact these factors. And talking about the halo effect, okay, so what we experience is this, right? Okay, so you have a ton of keywords, product opportunities explorer, powerful tool, helium 10, awesome tool, right? To figure out all the keywords that relate to your product. So the halo effect that we find is that, let's say you were targeting, okay, let's talk about the spatula again, right? Let's say wooden spatula, you're targeting heavily on that keyword. Okay, we do, yeah, masak, right? We do see that other related terms, like wooden spatula for kitchen, right? Those tend to see an uplift as well. So that's the overall halo effect that we see. Okay, when it comes to using advertising to impact these factors. Yeah.
Yeah.
So can I just add on as well,
course,
like my
sure.
own personal experience here, as to like when talking about conversion rate, right? Definitely go for more, I would say, relevant keyword, but at the same time that's not as competitive here is very important as well. Like for example, if you are just starting out on Amazon, you can see like very strong competitors. I think for example, I used to sell toys, right? So one of the toys that I'm selling is dinosaur figures, right? So very simple plastic dinosaur figures here. So very straightforward, without doing any research at all. A keyword that is for it is dinosaur figures, right? And as you know, like it's 2 words, and it's very competitive, right? All the sellers that is selling dinosaur figures, right, are competing for this keyword here, and you can expect like the CPC to be higher as well, cost per click to be higher as well. So what a lot of new sellers can do, right, is that they can go deeper into it. Like for example, they could go for a longer tail keyword. That means like 3-word kind of keyword, 4 words kind of keywords. Like for example, BPA-free dinosaur figures, right? That we would expect much lesser competition there, but at the same time, it's very relevant for your product as well. People who search for that, right, you can expect them, once they see your product up there high, most likely they would click into it and buy your product there. Yep.
Yeah, so longer tail keywords, so very specific niche kind of keywords are also pretty good when it comes to really driving conversion, and also subsequently has a bit of impact on ACoS because it might be slightly more cheaper to bid for those keywords. And I think the other impact of ACoS, the implication of ACoS is actually you're getting a lot of impressions. So we also see a lot of sellers, and sellers tell me I get a lot of impressions. I see that there are clicks, but somehow I'm not getting orders, right? So this is the worst because someone clicks on your ad, Amazon charges you, which drives up your ACoS, but you don't get the sale, which is common problem to be seen. Any tips, for our sellers facing this kind of situation?
So I think what you're saying here, they're getting clicks but not getting sales, right? So that would be low conversion rate.
Yeah.
So how do we actually solve low conversion rate here? I think one very straightforward method here, right, is to lower the price, and you can expect people clicking on your listing, there will be a higher percentage buying that. But if you are saying about like, okay, I want to increase my conversion rate, but at the same time, I don't want to affect my profit margin here, right? That will leave you to be improving the listing. That would be one of the methods. And improving listing, there's 2 methods of doing it as well. One is to improve the image, right? And next is to improve the copywriting. So that's 2 very, very important factors that is affecting conversion rate here. And I also get it, right? Like a lot of people say, I have very good images here.
Yeah, I always meet sellers that, I just uploaded a new image. It's very good already. Then I'm like, who did you ask? Did you ask yourself?
Yeah.
Right.
See, I know you, right? Because we are dealing with a lot of sellers as well. So these are very common questions here.
Yeah.
So the idea is that because we, as a seller, we design the listing image ourselves, right? Of course, whatever that we design, we feel that that's the best, that's the best for the audience. The audience will definitely like my listing image, and there would be a lot of conversion coming in. And also, us in Southeast Asia, right, our perspective of aesthetic is a bit different from the Western market, maybe, right? So what they like as a listing image might be a little bit different from our lens as well. So how do we actually provide like kind of like a objective, a judgment to whether our listing image is good enough or not? I use this service called Pickful. All right, Pickful is a service. It's kind of like a polling service, right? So I'll put my listing image up there, and they have a lot of opinion givers, professional opinion givers, right? So you put 2 pictures up there, right? 2 pictures, and you ask them. Then you select, like, I need 200 people to give me opinion here. Tell me, is picture A works better for you? Or picture B, do you think that it's nicer? It's something that you potentially will buy from, right? So they give you this very objective answer here as to whether your listing image is good or not. And also by, you're getting opinions from 200 people.
Yeah.
So by that size of statistics, right, large sample size here, it tends to be more accurate than your own personal judgment on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so I got 3 main points to add, or 3 ideas to add, right? Okay, so I think I read in a press release that Amazon now has generative AI to help you to create a listing, right?
Yep.
So if Amazon creates your listing, Hui Qi, now I'm going to put you on the spot, right? Does it mean his listing will convert better? Right, okay. Just teasing. But at least you do have the option over there that Amazon now gives you that generative AI feature to improve a listing. So that's kind of like idea number 1. Idea number 2, it's your keyword targeting, right? Okay, so again, the good ACOS, bad ACOS concept, right? Okay, identify better performing keywords, excuse me, identify more relevant keywords, right, to target. And the third idea, which is what Bradley mentioned just now, right, really powerful feature, the market conversion rate, right, SQP, right? SQP, the Search Query Performance Report, does tell you what is your conversion rate versus the market conversion rate. So let's say you have 2 keywords, right? Wooden spatula and wooden spatula kitchen, for example, just for the discussion's sake, right? If you even know for a fact that wooden spatula kitchen, you're outperforming the market in terms of conversion rate, right? Then definitely you should spend more budget there, right? It's kind of obvious, right? So it's an obvious thing that I think that people are not doing enough, right? So do really take advantage of all these data points that's available, right? During our time, right? These weren't available. Right, these reports weren't available, right? So now they're available, right? Okay, so do make use of them, right? So generative AI, more relevant keywords, and then knowing how your keywords are performing relative to the market.
And to add on to Daniel's point, right, like a lot of people also ask me, or sellers, especially if they are new, right, what's a good rate for conversion rate, right? So coming back to Daniel's point is that there's no fixed answer for that, right? We used to say 15% is like the gold standard here, right? After Amazon come up with SQP, everything changes, right? So because there's market conversion rate. So it's very important to peg against market conversion rate, because let's say an item that sells for $100, another item sells for $10. Of course, the much more expensive product is going to have a lower conversion rate here. So that's for sure. So have to peg it to use SQP to find out like what's the market conversion rate as well. So Amazon, there's a lot of tools to help us as a sellers. So I also would like to touch point back to what Bradley says about brand analytics. Make good use of it, because as a new seller, right, you would not have like data that you already run advertising, because matured sellers, they have already run it for a couple of years, they would have past data. So new sellers could actually make use of like brand analytics, search the period that is maybe a year ago, all right, do a reverse ASIN of your competitor. What is reverse ASIN is you could key in your competitor's ASIN and you could find out what are the keywords they are doing well for last year. And that's where you can actually, like get ahead of other sellers and find out what the keywords that they are using previously. So it's important to do some homework before like you come to, BFCM and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so I think Leslie already kind of teased into it, because I wanted to ask, right, what are some of the top tips you guys have for Black Friday, Cyber Monday? So one of the tools he mentioned, Amazon Brand Analytics, it's on Seller Central. You can just use it anytime you want. And I think one very powerful use case of it is just coming right up, which is holiday season. So you can actually search Christmas period last year or Black Friday last year to see what were some of the trending seasonal keywords that were actually converting a lot for sellers, right? So any other additional tips for our sellers for Black Friday, Cyber Monday?
Okay, so one of the things that I used to do when I was seller is that I would create a special campaign or a special few campaigns just for peak season. All right, that's something that I would do. Like, what do I mean by that? Recently, I shared, like, also during one of the seller session, that Amazon organizers, I shared, like, how I did it, like, step by step and all those things, right? So, if you guys are selling and all this, it's very useful to go off for such usual, they spend a lot of time to organize this. So do go for it. And there's always a lot of people attend, like, kind of like sharing stuff. So going back to that, what I will do is that I'll create this special event campaign here. So for example, I'm selling, going back to the dinosaur toy kind of example, right? Dinosaur toy is like the evergreen keyword that I would target on, right? During special event, I would create kind of like a special event. For example, Black Friday deals, right? For keywords like that, or maybe kind of like a holiday gift. All these keywords that encompasses all these keywords that people use to search for toys, like during the event itself.
Sure. So before I answer the question, just a quick shout out to the Amazon Global Selling Team's effort, right, in organizing all these like meetups, right? So why is this relevant to my answers? Because prior to this session, right, I went to talk to many different sellers within the community, right, to hear from them. So what are the things that they do to maximize their BFCM period, right? Okay, so I see a lot of new faces over here. So if you guys are not attending the summit, as in the gathering says you should, so you can talk to them directly. Right, so there are 3 things I want to share, right? So what you should do before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, during and after, right? Okay, so for before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, there's a lead up to like the largest sales event in the year. There are going to be many people coming. So what you want to do from an advertising perspective is that you want to indicate or signal to the Amazon advertising platform that you have a listing that has got good CTR, good click-through rate. So that if you have a good click-through rate before BFCM, so when BFCM comes, right, the Amazon platform will tend to want to show your ads more. Again, having said that, these are just personal experience, right? None of us over here knows exactly how the Amazon algorithm works, right? So I gotta preface that by saying that first. So these are, right, what they experience, right? So improve your CTR before these major buying holiday seasons. So then the obvious question is how, right? How to improve your CTR is that, so you gotta trim away, right, your keywords that has got not good CTR, right? Simple, ideas is simple, right? So just go trim those first as a lead up to BFCM. So that BFCM comes, right, okay, you signal to the Amazon algorithm that you have a good click-through rate, so they will show your ads more, and then you get more sales during that period. So this is how to maximize your sales during that period. So this is the before. So during BFCM itself, right, so one of the things that one of the top sellers are doing is that they time when the ads would show, right? Okay, so time zone is different, right? Singapore time zone and US time zone is different. So when the ads start showing 12 midnight US is about 3 or 4 p.m. Singapore time. So what they do is that they would kind of like pause their ads a little bit first during the first couple of hours, quote unquote allow their competitors to spend the ads first, right, before they come in. So you can do that using like a software to do what we call day partying, turn on and off your ads during hours of the day. So just generally speaking, the concept is just time your ads, right, allow your competitors to kind of like get the first wave, right, and then start to then come in maybe early part of the morning, right, second part of the morning, something like that, right? So time your ads. So thirdly, this one I think is really interesting, right? So BFCM, you don't get all your sales during BFCM, right? People maybe they add to cart, they went to the listing, but they didn't buy. So there's this feature in sponsored display that allows you to retarget the people that visited your listing but didn't buy, right? Okay, so maybe they forgot, maybe they had to go for some party, right? So I thought that's a very powerful technique, right? So people that saw your listing during BFCM, retarget them, right? Again, that will really allow you to maximize, right, the impact of that holiday season. right? So these are like before, during, after techniques that you can use.
Adding on a little bit back to my peak season campaign, right? I would urge everyone not to belittle such a campaign because potentially it can be super, super powerful. Before that, I didn't have such a thing, right? And after I did some research, and stuff, I realized, people, for my dinosaur toy, people are looking for like very generic keywords, like for example, toys for 5-year-olds, right? And you have toys for 5-year-olds, you can have toys for 4-year-olds, 3-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
And potentially that's a lot of keywords that I'm missing out here.
Yeah.
So such a campaign, a peak season campaign, right? If you have such a campaign, it could boost your revenue maybe up by another 20% at least. So that's very powerful here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also something I don't commonly see with sellers like consulting when it comes to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So even for me, it's like pretty new insight, right? You shouldn't like assume that you're going to get all your sales from very specific keywords. Like certain seasons, like holiday season is where you could really get a lot of incremental traffic from customers who might not be looking for a dinosaur figure, but they are just looking for a gift for their 5-year-old. You know what I mean? So it's important to create a peak season campaign, like, and try to experiment with that. I think, really before we kind of wrap up the session, I think, I also want you guys to kind of run us through what inspired you guys to really kind of create skill insights, and what was the kind of the pain points that motivated you guys to create this service for sellers as well.
Yeah, so credits to my partner over there, Luke, right? He's the one who created Skill Insights, and he kind of like rope us in, as a seller to use Skill Insights. And that, after using it, we find that, oh my God, such a tool. There wasn't something that's out there in the market that is like that, So as a seller, we had 101 things to cope with, right? As an entrepreneur, you got to do, we got to do the inventory management, you got to take care of the marketing, you got to take care of the all sorts of things, finance and stuff, right? So there's 101 things to do, and we realized that if we can have some time, have some kind of a tool to help us take care of the advertising. At that point of time, I was spending up to maybe half of my day per day, on the ads bids management.
Adjusting the bids.
Sorry, yeah, adjusting the bids, looking at competitors, their pricing and all those things, right? If I could have a tool that helps me does this automatically, right? Oh, that's like God-given, right? So thankfully enough, Amazon also opened up the API at that time, and we took the plunge in and kind of create such a tool for ourselves, right? So it was really like a tool for our own use at that point of time, yeah, to solve a need of ours, right?
Yeah.
Right, so Skill Insights solves generally two main problems, right? It's a problem created by Amazon. I blame them. Okay, in a sense, no, I'm just kidding, right? In a sense that Amazon has so much data that it's very difficult for you to parse that data and make sense of it. So one thing is that, first of all, you got to download the data every day, right? Then you got to go run the report, which is a hassle, right? Okay, so a tool like Skill Insights allows you to download all those reports and allow you to ask questions like, right, what are the search terms in the last 30 days that gave me 0 orders? So if I gave you the information, what would you do? You start to go negate those search terms, right? So, but if you weren't able to get the data, you weren't able to process the data, then how are you going to take the action, right? So it's there. Amazon gives you the data. So they created this problem for us, this opportunity for us to go solve, right? So you need to find yourself a solution. Can be Skill Insights, can be any software out there to help you to tackle that bulk of data that Amazon's giving you, right? So that's part one. Okay, so after addressing that problem, then is the problem of action, right? Idea with action is just nothing, right? Okay, so now I know all these things, right? Bid management, right? My search terms to negate, right? I then now need to be able to take action on them, again, on a daily basis, right? I must be able to do this on a very daily basis to adjust my bids based on the conversion of the keywords, based on the performance of the keywords, right? Okay, to adjust my bits so that I can just really stay on top of the game. And I think what Leslie really mentioned is really true, so that you can take your energy towards launching in the Europe market. Sam mentioned that, right? Launching into other marketplaces, launching new products. So you can focus your energy towards that. Let some software, let some application help you to take care of the day-to-day tasks, right, of running advertising. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, right, I realize right now with Scale Insights, right, because we have users, we have seen users, they have millions of actions being automated like every single month. And at the past, it was more of like replacing human effort. And right now, right, what we see at the scale that tool is able to do, right, it's something that human couldn't humanly do, like millions of action every month. That's something that is not doable humanly, right? Even without sleep, without food, and without anything, right? Millions of action is tough. So a tool would actually help a lot on that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think definitely Scale Insights is an Amazon advanced ad partner. And it can really actually help to automate a lot of the advertising actions, optimizations that you can do. And of course, not just here. So right now we're going into the breakout sessions where there is a advertising breakout over here, at the end of this hall. And Scale Insights also has even more tips that they've prepared, certain even presentation slides that you guys can take away as
good
goodies.
Good stuff coming up.
Good stuff for the session. So please find us at the breakout session. We are also sharing the time with a top seller on Amazon. So you'll get goodies from existing top seller as well as really some of the top tips from our very well-knowledge partners as well. And thank you so much, Leslie and Daniel. So we will see you guys also at the breakout sessions, but really wanted to thank them for some of the top tips for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We hope you guys kept track. Yeah.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.